Okay, good morning. Let me just handle a few things here. Yep. Okay, Discord has been notified. Let me notify all of the places. Okay. And hi Nemo. Hi El True. That's great. Now, I'm a little bit frazzled because this week has been a little tough for me. There's been some developments in my life, which I will not go into, um, and with my family. But I am here. Hello, Aaron. And I am going to do some conlanging. We gotta figure out what we're doing with these verbs. So we've already figured out our agreement stuff. Now we're going to work on tense aspect and mood. And I'm thinking to start with, we are going to, what we're going to do here is tense aspect, mood, verb morphology. I mean, it should be like that. Okay. Actually, we'll do it this way. So we have tense aspect mood, verb morphology, auxiliaries, and particles. So here is the idea. We're gonna see tense is both on the verb and exists as particles. Aspect is on the verb and marked with auxiliaries. Mood is marked on the verb and with particles. There we go. So, what we have here is our just a whole setup, and all three are on in verb morphology. So, what that means Oh, hi, Logan. Yes, well, it's always nice to be able to get here, uh, and I thank your kids for letting you for getting you up early so you can make it. Okay, so we decided. So last week we did all of this morphology. Okay. This week we're going to make some decisions about this. And so I think what we will do is we will start on the verb. A couple reasons for that. I think, like, the verb marking for tam, it will be easier to be working that out first and then going into auxiliary constructions and particles. Another piece of that is it's not 100%. You could find counterexamples pretty easily, but I feel that it's more likely that the verb morphology is older than the auxiliary and particle constructions, if you understand my meaning. So, like, because it being marked on the verb indicates that it is further along the grammaticalization path. Now, this is not guaranteed. I can easily find a counterexample. The Spanish future tense is quite recent, even though already in Latin, I think you had some auxiliary constructions. However, it's usually more likely. Also, just the things that are closer to the verb it'll be easier to have those worked out first, because we might have some of those inflections on the aspect auxiliaries. So, typically not Tinglish. We will work out, like, I'm not really aware of languages that have that group in negative with the mood. Negative can be on the verb, and questions can be marked on the verb. However, they can also be marked in other ways. A negative and a question is something that we will handle later, because it's generally more of a whole sentence construction. Whereas tense, aspect, and mood tend to be marked directly on the verb or on a construction that is around the verb phrase. So, what is this going to look like when we do verb morphology? My initial thought is that the morphological marking on the verb is going to be a kind of a mix, right? We do have, there is both past and future, right? So let's get started on a table here. So we have, let's have a past indicative and a future indicative. One thing that we often see in European languages, and I'm not sure how far beyond that, is we can have a perfective for the past, but no perfective for the future. This is, if you have taken Spanish, this is what they call pretérito or preterite. Is the past perfective. Whereas, so we could have imperfective, right? Whereas the default past is imperfective. We probably want to have just a insert. Yeah. We probably also want a straight up, our default form be present indicative imperfective, right? So this is one option we could go with, is have a perfective imperfective distinction that's only in the past. Yeah, it sort of works. I think it works well if you are going to do perfective imperfective, which is sort of the most common aspect distinction, because it's like it's much more common to have a perfective sentence about things in the past. There are plenty of languages, languages that don't have both tense and aspect will have perfective constructions about the future. Like with Chinese, you have sort of inceptive constructions where you talk about an event in the future with the perfective marker le. But it's, it's variable. So that's what I'm thinking. We could have, and then we could have, insert rows below, we could have just an irrealis form, right? And I would say, so we can have one of two ways we could do this. We can have Realis has past, present, future, or it can just have removes all tense and aspect. And as I'm thinking about this, I kind of am leaning more towards this. And that will give us some room in the constructions to use our auxiliaries and particles more, um, by having the irrealis just completely like negate things. We had a similar system in Ndakaga where you had there was no tense marking, but we had aspect marking that would have that marked for perfective and gnomic, but you had at the irrealis, which took the same slot in the verb template as the perfective or gnomic sub was it suffixes or prefixes? It was suffixes, yeah. Um, and that way irrealis is just like that. So my thought is another thing to consider is where does that go in relation to all of this, right? And my thinking is that what we will have is these come before person marking, because I would my thinking is that person marking, especially the third person forms, come after this, because like this the like the whole this whole this whole class system is younger than the verb morphology, the verb tam morphology, right? That's what I'm thinking. So let's get started on these. Let's start generating some forms and we're making this language mainly suffixing, and there's a good reason for that is eventually as we break into dialects, we're going to have the yeah. Yeah, that's one way to do it. I think, yeah. So what I'm planning to do here is that we're going to make suffixes. I'm not necessarily super interested in where they come from. I think they're going to be quite old, possibly like already in place in Proto Fae, and then we will go from there. Now, if we check here, these are the pronouns. I'm just gonna these are not related to we may get an option of possibly these coming after, because these could be older, but we'll see. Aaron, I'm just gonna call you out. You're saying you're mixing up agglutinative, analytic, and fusional features in the language. That is a very good approach. the reason I say that is like um, a lot of times people beginning in conlangi are gonna like try to hew to a specific classification for their language. Most of the time, they just do agglutinative because that's easy. But real languages do not usually fall in one specific category of agglutinative, analytic, or fusional. They usually have some aspects of other ones. Yeah. It's it's helpful more to think of like this system is agglutinative. This system is analytic, right? That's that's and I'm not gonna be worried too much. This language is going to be pretty fusional, sort of partially fusional, uh, partially sorry, agglutinative. We are going to have some analytic elements since we have auxiliaries, but since we have the particles here. Yeah, but that's a good approach because there's some realism to that. Sometimes, I mean, you get languages like Chinese is mostly analytic. Most Creoles are mostly analytic, but you will get you will get some other situations. Okay, so let's just generate some roots, and let's generate like 10 15 of them. I'm not going to have people like vote to rank all of them. I'm going to select from this list things that are good for like ka could be something. I definitely like well, let's take this. Let's stick this into Lexergy. Oh, import my and apply. Taking a while. Why did it not? Okay, let's apply. Okay, what's the error? Okay, let me see, make sure that I have the very latest Lexergy version of this in Lexergy and then try that. Okay, now it works. So ka I think so I'm not let's prove t2. I think if we take this down to pru, not super into the I KSBU. I think if we have just KS. But uste, no, uste is not one that I want in this thing. ed ut. I think all of these are pretty good. So let's do apply. Oh, that's definitely one that I would be presenting. So let's do this way. What I'm going to do Yeah, it's good to think about what the proto was like, and then like work out from that. Like, if I think about it, I'm thinking that for here, Proto Fae may have originally been somewhat fusional or agglutinative already. You know, it had some affixes already, and that's one reason I'm saying I'm gonna make some suffixes that I'm not gonna worry about where they came from, right? Yeah. Um. So let's get a straw poll going. So what I need here is 1, 2, 3, 4 suffixes, right? So what we're going to do is I'm going to create a poll, and we're gonna um, and we're going to, what are our TAM suffixes? I will go and assign these later, but we're going to do this. We're going to have and there is a reason that I'm doing this on straw poll and not doing a YouTube vote. We'll see. I think Ita maybe used somewhere else. Upa Ute Abu A and Epi. And what I'm going to do is allow multiple options. You can choose up to 4. Because we need 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the top 4 of this poll. We'll give you until 35. Okay? To get that. So let's create the poll and share it. And then, yeah, I can pull this over here and be looking at the results as they come in. So we're going to take the top 4, and those will be the forms that we end up with. Okay? And let's... So... be that. Then we need... For particles, we need tense and mood particles. So we're going to have to think about an aspect auxiliaries. So let's take a look at different aspects that we can have. Let's just list of aspects. Yeah. Okay. So there's quite a few. We can have a habitual. That can be covered by past imperfective in this case. The way like Romance's languages do it. Aorist. Hello. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, let's have a baby cam. Let's just quickly go here and oh.
There's two of my daddies working.
Two of your daddies working? Can you say hi? Here's Dorothy. She just woke up. You say hi to everybody watching. There's people watching you. Okay. You go on up to Mommy. You go on to Mommy. Yeah.
I thought you were sleeping on bed with me.
Okay. Let's go back. Stative is interesting. So what's semifactive? Semifactive is oh, okay. This is a brief event which ends by returning to its initial state. I kind of like iteratives. Imperfective we have. Frequentative. Distributive. So cessative. Kind of not interested in that. I wish my kids had just woken up. Baby? Why are you taking my phone? I might need it. What? Oh, okay. Well, I don't think I'm gonna be. Yeah, aorist. I'm not necessarily gonna use aorist. So momentane. That's specific to Finnish. I'm gonna actually figure out. So this is common. So preterite exists in Romance languages and Germanic languages. It's a very European thing, but apparently it also exists in Semitic. So it's not necessarily wholly European. That's okay. Since we've done a lot, we're doing a lot of callbacks to since we're doing a lot of callbacks to Celtic in the first place, I'm not super worried about this being a little bit Europeanish. Okay, so our poll is done. Let's reload for the results. So, so we ended up with a tie between and Abu. I'm gonna say I'm gonna say we're gonna have the first four. We're not going to do the Abu. as much as I do like sometimes throwing in two syllables in there, I'm not super sold on abu. Abu. But we've got pru, pru, I, a, ide, and k, 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 k. That's such an interesting one. I have a feeling that some daughter languages are just going to completely drop the vowel and coda, and it's just going to be a K. Now, what are these going to be, right? What are these going to be? So present indicative, I have decided, is going to be no suffix at all. Pru actually sounds like a future to me. So I'm going to put this as the future indicative. Pru Yes, is this. Ide is this one. And then we're going to make the iralis the one with the voiceless vowel. Hi, Miles. How you doing this morning? We're just now finishing up with this verb morphology stuff. Now, we want to say, we want to deal with the auxiliaries. So I'm not necessarily interested in the kinds of auxiliaries you find in European languages. You get the perfect aspect marked with an auxiliary, and English has a progressive aspect, right? I mean, we could do that, but like perfect is kind of a weird animal, and I don't know, like perfect aspect, I don't know if that actually happens. Yeah, is a verb that indicates an action or circumstance that occurred earlier than the time under consideration, often focusing, yeah. And it seems like it's completely like a European thing. It's like an Indo-European phenomenon to have perfect aspect. It's So I think I'm not gonna do that. You could have like a progressive. Right? Contiguous or progressive aspects. If we look at some of these others, we could get we could throw some of these into what's frequentative? Yeah. Repeated action, not, but it's not the frequentive. Okay. That's not around the place. Okay. This is a little bit. I like to have encodative. We could end up with. I've done encodative before, and we could do some interesting things with the construction. The key thing here is what I always like to do is when I'm working on particles and auxiliaries is to think of the whole construction as meaning something. A little bit of the construction grammar going on. And then you get the so we'd have the aspect marker plus whatever whatever verb. The aspect marker will be in one of these, and that can affect what the meaning is. Um, so these are suffixes, and oh, this is heavy, so that actually might protect it. So let's think about what things would we want to do with an auxiliary. No, tense is marked directly on the verb, Miles. And there will be tense particles. We'll get to how that works later. Um, I would think that the thing is we have present and future marked. Oh, for spectral constructions. Yeah, encodative sensitive. So let's think about encoded like encodative and sensitive. Okay, thinking about that, I think we can have the same auxiliary. Now, auxiliaries often, I am going to like consider what um, I am going to consider what the source is for this because oh, okay, so encodative, if we do we can do a simple one like an encodative from a verb that meant start and cessative from a verb that meant stop. That could be something I can if we want to consider more interesting choices, we can go look here and see if we have where's the eyes? Okay. Inceptive is, yeah. And they only have inceptive coming from begin. Let's see if they have anything for cessative at all. It's kind of a less common thing. Yeah, they don't have anything for cessative, but I think start. uh, I think start and stop are cool. Um, Now we're going to. I think it's very nice to have. Let's let's actually look at the World Lexicon of Randomization. The other index, the source target list. I'm going to look for B and see what kinds of things B could be, because if we're going to have auxiliaries, a light verb like to be is very likely to pop up, right? Um, let's go up, 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 up. Okay, they don't have B in here. Hmm. Oh, that's a super cool one. Stand up slash rise for an encodative. Um. Oh gosh, you guys are very creative on this. Do I want to do something like that? Oh, copula? Yeah, it should be copula. Yeah, let's look for copula. Copula, copula, agent, avertive, conditional, consecutive, focus, obligation. Everything. Um, we could have an obligative construction. No, because we're not doing. We could have conditional. Conditional is that? Do we consider that an aspect or a mood? Conditional. Construction aspect. Oh yeah, conditional is a mood. Um, so we're probably not going to use that for a conditional. It could be part of a conditional construction in some way. Mm-hmm. So we can also consider have. We have go often. Oh, go, habitual, durative, imperative. Oh gosh. Okay, and I'm definitely gonna have go mean something, and we're gonna have be mean something. Um, go has a lot of good aspect and tense meanings, but let's go with the um let's go with these meanings. Let's see. Where can we find go in the main text? Do we have? Yeah, we don't have a table of contents on my thing. So go. Um, let's see. Let's go. Let's go sort out. Okay, copula. Let's look at go first, because I wanna get more. Stop is prohibitive. Let me. Okay, I want to find go. Go, 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 go. It would be really nice if my PDF had a table of contents here. Um, EFG. Okay, we have get. Well, we'll be at go here a second here. Apologies for this kind of thing. I just want to look at examples. I just want to look at examples, friends. There we go. Okay. We have go. Change of state. Andative. Chinese. 她拿起了两本书. Okay. She took two books. That's yeah. It means that's a directional. That's a directional here. That's not what we're looking for. Change of state. Okay. 去 he went home. He went mad. Not exactly what we're looking at. Yeah. We can have. Maybe I need a need the yeah. Oh, you made a spreadsheet of all this? Yeah. Let's take a look. We don't want demonstrative. There were habitual. Okay, let's look at the habitual. So we have go, run, or any motion verb goes to a durative, progressive, habitual, auxiliary. So uh, have examples from Jari. Go can become an imperative. Um, that's not what we're looking at. That's a mood thing. Go can be a new event. Yeah. So. You can get okay. Go can become a passive. That's not not what we're working on now. Progressive. Run, go. So a lot of these are examples with affixes, but we can consider that. I really like. I kind of am interested in doing. Let me think about own data. Oh gosh, they just put their own stuff in there. I'm thinking there's a couple of different things that I could use Go for. So I kind of like the habitual. Another thing that we can have is the what was I thinking? Oh, I completely lost what I was thinking about. Progressive, not super into that. What? Oh, you do new. I go with placeholder names for a long time. This is still we're still talking about Sylvan. I am planning on making a name for Middle Sylvan soon. Uh, Possibly next stream. Um, okay, what else am I thinking about for Go? Um, we could have a habitual and iterative maybe. Let me let me go look at the things again and see if I can remind myself of what I was going to use Go for. Let's go back up to Go here. Go. Okay. Durative, habitual, imperative. Durative and habitual. The andative is not change of state, yeah. Actually, let's make this more interesting. Um so the thing is the go ones, I think basically any verb that indicates continuous motion can do the same kinds of things that go does. Anything indicating motion. So we could be more interesting and we could say, let's say the habitual. Um, the habitual comes from walk. And let's have an iterative come from step. We do a little bit of theme here, not super. And encodative, if I can steal whoever's it was had stand, and we could have stand and sit. No, I'm not. I think actually it would be cool, but it's not. But like you can do things while you're. Um, I think stand up. Yeah, is good. I think I think we still want to stop just because of the way the construction would be developed. So people are on Discord and it's distracting me. Mute that. Yeah, I think that is where I want to be with that. Um, B B could be just anything. I think maybe we'll save B for something later. Later, yeah, yeah. It is a little bit poetic. It's a little bit. This is nice to break up the theme, so that it's not like everything is themed on the same like action of walking, but I think we can have like three of them come from that. So let's come up with some forms. Yeah. So let's come up with these verbs. And like some of them may Can we throw a run in there? I'm not sure what run would be. Run is more about speed and not really. I think this is good. It's just a few. We don't want to overload our auxiliaries too. We don't want to have too many auxiliaries. Um, Now it's not just encodative. It's going to be so we're going to have a stand up plus probably uh plus a preterite, right? Right? Habitual would be can be plus any imperfective. And this can be plus preterite. No, I don't think so. No, I think we need to actually. It would be easier if we had a present had like a non-past perfective somewhere. Um, to do that. Let's make our forms, and then let's think about exactly how we want these constructions realized. So let's start pulling. I'm gonna pull a few of these back that I rejected earlier because uh, they can actually be. So the ones that that one we can keep the ah in there. Um, let's actually take these out and let's apply. Oh, actually, taking a while. Why is it not applying the first time? Alexergy's giving me grief today. Yeah. There we go. Oh goodness. Fap, fappe, fappe, um, fappe. Situ is definitely one. Okay, so export. Um, let's do these ones one by one. I'm not gonna have this one as one, and I'm not gonna have this one as a one. But I think all of the others we can work with. So let's. Okay, so let's go. So we're going to do these one by one. We're going to do ranking, and we're going to say, we're going to have, okay, what is our word for stand? And we will random order. I think 6 options should be fine. And let's schedule. Let's give you guys until 9:15. Not 8, 9:15. And then we will public after vote. Create poll. And let's share this with you guys. Copy and share. Well, I don't know. I don't know about anybody else, but Lexergy is just not doing anything on the first try for me recently. Just today. So okay. So you got a few minutes to decide on that. And some of these I might decide myself, but so my idea here is we would work this out. Now, I want to establish a few things as we are getting into this. So let's go make a constructions note here, and this should be heading 2, and basic word order is going to be SVO. The reason I do that is like it gives us a so with SVO, we have decided that some of the dialects will be, some dialects will develop VSO. There's a couple of reasons for going with SVO. Number one, we have no core cases. So if we establish SVO, that clarifies everything's role in the sentence without having to have cases, right? The other part of that is the path to VSO goes through SVO. So if we want some of the dialects to be VSO, we want to have SVO and some kind of mechanism for fronting the verb, which will lead to overall VSO syntax. Okay, so that's my general idea. Given that, we want to think about what is the order of the auxiliary and verb. If we are going with, VSO means generally head initial. We want to see about, do we want a substratum influence? I don't know if I'm going to think too hard about substrata, although it is possible that either there are like different Fae that spoke different languages, and that could cause substratum influence, or people migrating from the material plane could cause substratum influences. But I'm not going to work out those languages and try to do this. Now let me get back to my let's see our navigation, and let's go back to verbs, verb morphology, and I am Yeah. But so when we think about this, what is the so if we're thinking of more of a head initial situation, then I would expect the auxiliaries to become before the verb, right? Um, Distinguish, that's a good question. I will say that um, the verb like adjectives probably will be like impoverished and not have all of the aspects, all of the tense and aspect marking. But and definitely they're not going to take the auxiliaries and the particles. I don't think they might have some tense and aspect marking. Pro drop could help in transition to VSO possibly. Um, if we have this would be super European. But if we had verb fronting for questions, that that's probably what happened in Celtic. I think is verb fronting in certain constructions like questions. Um, uh, Topicalization wouldn't get you there because topicalization is actually moving a noun phrase rather than a verb. Post-verbal focus might, yeah. Um, but in general, a VSO language is going to be like developing from an SVO language. A lot of like syntacticians will often say that VSO, like the generative syntacticians will say that VSO is just an SVO language and you are always moving the verb to the front, right? Um, it's more complex than that, but that. But we'll um, we'll get to that. Let's see. Is this vote over? Okay. Okay. Here's the vote, and this was pretty overwhelming from the people who voted that we want ah. Okay. So let's let's have this ah, and then I'm going to duplicate this, and we're going to what is our word for we'll remove ah, and what is our word for stop? Which stop is the cessative, right? So we will go and we're gonna give you guys this one until 9:20 and create this poll and share it here. And while we're doing that, let's think about so we have two options here. Let's say that the encodative is usually going to be in preterite form. And so what we need is to figure out what the preterite form is. So we need ka and ed. Ed, and we go in here. Done. And we're gonna go apply. Adi. Addy, Addy, Addy. I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to make an executive decision that this is going to turn into just Addy, Addy. So we have the option, and do I have any other verbs? Somebody throw out a verb meaning that we can do quickly. I don't have other verbs to illustrate this with. Throw out let's see. Start to fly, fly. Let's make a word for fly quickly, and we'll just let's I'm just gonna do like 5 forms, and I'm gonna straight up like choose one. Let's go. Do toodle. Yeah, let's go with toodle, and that feels kind of. That would be toodle, and then so toodle. Okay, so let me fly. I might as well do the whole thing. So our basic options, and this I may change how the aspect works here, is do we want the aspect this to be in front or behind? So kadi sudu de or sa sudu kadi. So right. So it would be stop encodative fly, or it would be stand encodative fly, or fly stand encodative. And so yeah. I'm working on verbs. So we have kadi turu or turu kadi. I'm not 100% sure we need to choose that now. This may be part of polls that I give for patrons, or like I have to think about whether I'm going to do a poll for this order or I'm going to do a poll for. Let's actually. Do I have anything that in my dice tables? So let's see, order. Word order. I have subject, object, verb. What is the order of terminal turners? I have what is the order of adjective and noun. I do not have anything for the order of auxiliaries. But I am feeling the initial order a little bit better. And then we could have some interesting things with VSO word order where actually just the auxiliary gets in the front, and then this remains in between subject and object, right? We could have some interesting things with that. Let's say for now the auxiliary comes first. Yeah, and so yeah, and then now let's see this poll. This poll, is it over? Okay, this poll should be over. Let's show the results to you. Situ. So, um, we did that for stop. Um, and I'm gonna say the same thing as and then we will let's choose our habitual. So what is our term for what is it? Habitual is walk. And give you guys another. Let's go until 9:30. Create the poll and share copy. Yeah. Yeah, Tinglish, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Is like the auxiliary comes first. In the VSO ones, the auxiliary got fronted, but not the main verb. Now I am kind of using a relatively Englishy paradigm for um, auxiliaries. Oh goodness, we have a tie right now, but we'll see. But it works for me. Let's see here. Yeah. So while we're waiting, while we're doing these polls, I'm going to actually go ahead and use Suda um, as a right. I need to I need to actually make sure that I know where this came from. I'm going to actually develop this as an example for this table, and we will give just the third person inanimate. Oh, okay. And so we would end up with this is just going to be, this is present indicative. And then we will have, okay, let me, okay, done with this. Let's go to the I. To the pro, pro, pro. So the id and through to case. And then apply. Come on, apply. Yeah, it's kind of like V2 word order. Yeah. Let me make a note of that. It can also be a way to manage the differences. Why is it not applying? Lexergy, I would like you to work. It's not ready. I'm not seeing it. Okay. Okay. There's no. Oh, I forgot. I need this. Trace. Let's trace this. So we go to front round, front round. Front round. So yeah, I need to end low. I shouldn't need it here. No, it should be. This only happens with non-low vowels, and then we have that. So, S2E15. Right. So, we end up with. Oh, that's wild. So it doesn't end up being all the time. It's only if there's a consonant before it that's going to end up as . We have a lot of like vowels blending together in this language, which is ending up with cool things. Sididi, sididi. We end up with interesting changes to the stems. Good morning, Carl. And so, yeah, here's an example verb paradigm. Um, uh, with just the third person class 5 marking. I'm thinking this is just going to be, we're just going to do subject marking here, and this. So that's always going to be the case. And then I'm thinking that this class marking gets tacked on to the end, but we can consider whether these happen before or after class marking. Yeah. Sounds like French. Ce, ce dude, ce dude, ce dude. Not really. I like as a vowel, but you know, it depends on how your system is working, you know. I always am thinking about vowels in terms of the vowel system. Now let's close the vote out and see how our vote went. It's we've still got so kutach, 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 kutach is our one for walk. And then let's go choose one for step. Do we need to let me see. Duplicate, and then if we have kitach is eliminated, we have our word for, what is our word term for step? I think we can still do a ranking poll, but then afterward we'll just have two options. And we will have 940. That may be the last one we end up with. And create poll. And share that. Kutach. Oh my goodness. Kutach. 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 Is actually sounds really nice. Kutach. This could be in any of our things, right? Yeah. And I'll be watching the results of this here. And we need to also think about particles for tense and mood. And I'm thinking and then thinking about our particles. This might be something that we do off stream with social media polls. We have particles would be, so we need some tense and some mood particles. Now the most common thing would be to have a future tense. Future particle. Now there's a couple ways we can think about this. Is that ba? Just do it then. Just use ba. plausible to have ba as a negative. In this language, Carl, in my language, I haven't figured out what negative constructions are going to be like yet. I don't usually think of negative as a mood, but we could have use it here. Let's see. So last time I rolled for natives on a table, and I got a weird situation. A remote past, experiential past particle. Interesting. Um, I think I rolled somewhere and said it didn't have multiple. Do I have a thing where I had a dice roll on that? Okay, so yeah, that works. So I would call that like the mood, like removing the tense information, the mood being neutral for tense, or taking up or neutralizing the tense distinction. Um, Sort of like we have an irrealis here. I like to just have a general irrealis because it's like, okay, this I can work with this and do things with it. Um, and then we have some mood particles that we can combine with that to cause interesting things to happen. Um, what do we want let's think about what categories. Yeah. So I'm yeah, we decided that the Urialis does remove future, remote past. So I thought that I rolled. I would I would say, yeah, an experiential past. That's kind of a aspect thing, whereas a remote past. Yeah. Let me let me do a one up. Since I think I may have rolled on this, let's do a poll of it. Straight up or down. What do you guys think? Oh, I don't want that. I don't want another option. I want delete, delete. And that would all override any role that I took in the past. Meanwhile, this is closed, and we did bukai, bukai, bukai. So this is bukai, bukai, bukai. Okay. Oh gosh. Okay. How many votes do we have? How many people are in on the stream? Let's wait for a little bit to see more people vote here. Um, let's wait for just a little bit on that. Meanwhile, we are left with the last two, Hepu and Ute, which let's hold off and kind of not worry about that for now. Maybe I will use those roots for other things, like save that and use that for other things. I think these aspect things are working. So let's remote tents. And then we're thinking about, we need some moods. I think just a potential can an optative can be very useful for us. An obligative. And then this will be sort of placeholder. And then Carl was suggesting ba as a negative marker. Like, I like you, Carl. So I'm going to put that in there as a question for when we deal with negative constructions. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Where are we? 5 votes. Okay, with the number of people that are watching, that is going to be overwhelming. So yes, we do going to have a remote. What I'm going to do with that is, this is a modifier on the tense of the verb. Yeah. Is this language doing evidentials? I have not decided that yet. It would be interesting, possibly. I don't know how they would end up with Now, I have realized I didn't think about imperatives. We could have the imperative be the same as the indicative. We could have another suffix. We could have a modal. I think let's actually one of our particles can be an imperative. But it'll be kind of constricted how the construction works. It would have to be probably a present or future verb that goes with the imperative. And yeah, that works. I think this is, I may whittle this down a little bit further in the future. Let's see. So we've got about 10 minutes left. And, okay. We decided to hold off on sorting out the oblique and locative forms of pronouns until we figure out what we do with prepositions, right? Yeah. Negative imperatives could be constructed differently. Yeah, I mean, you can have a separate prohibitive thing. I'll put a question mark on that. Prohibitive. I think I'm going to consider this and possibly whittle it down a little bit. Bukai, getah, situ, and ah, that's good. Okay, so what we have achieved today is we have worked out our main tense aspect suffixes, test aspect mood suffixes. We have worked out what all of our, at least the sources for our auxiliaries will be for a few aspects. I have not done to be yet. I will be thinking about that maybe next time to see if we want to use a be auxiliary somewhere. And we have an idea of what our particles will be. I need to decide. I think so. This comes from far. This comes from what? Could be no. Could be able. Could be a lot of things. This probably from want. This I'm not sure. This not sure. And if we do a prohibitive, I'm not sure. But I am going to be thinking about origins for these because these particles are things that would another thing we got to think about when we talk about tense aspect mood, and I don't think it really matters for how tense works, is that time will be weird in fairy. Now, as far as I understand, and from depictions of media, you cannot go back and in time in fairy. Everything is still like you still have simultaneity. You know, talking in um, everything. The arrow of time is still always moving forward, right? However, time is going in different rates, and it's unclear. Okay, that's an idea. Eat, sleep. We can also look here at the target source list, and come on, come on, come on. I hate scrolling up and down through this thing. So if we go down to optative and obligative, go know, live, remain, sit, use. Let's find the O's. Do they have optative here? They don't have obligative, they have obligation. CD necessity. Okay. Copula, do, get, need, owe. Oh! Actually, I like O. I like O. I think it's nice. It's thematic. Let's go with O, actually. Let's see what sources there are for imperative. It should be up here. Come, give, go, leave. Give is interesting. But actually, yes. I think so imperative coming from give. Now, since these are particles, these are going to be like eroded away in order to not have inflections. They yeah. This this is the World Lexicon of Grammaticalization. This is the second edition, actually. Prohibitive. If we wanted to do a prohibitive, we did a prohibitive in Ndakaga. Actually, I'm going to say I'll question whether I want to do prohibitive, but if we were to do it, then we could have some sources that would work. Oh, this is possibility. Ooh, wait, this is nice. Arrive. I like this. Okay. Okay. Arrive. And then let's let's go find the prohibitive. Prohibitive tends to just come from stop. We're using stop in another sense already. So I wouldn't necessarily do it from that. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I think we're gonna mark the prohibitive by having a negative and the negative with an imperative, or maybe negative with some other modal. Yeah. Um, because we already had like ndakaga, we did like ka and cha and two separate prefixes, and I don't want to do the same thing, exactly the same thing in another language, right? Um, so I think we'll go with just an imperative, and then we can have some kind of a negated imperative, or just it could just be a negative, like a negative with the irrealis or something. Um, but we are at time, and it's been fun. I apologize for not having the announcement up and everything, but this week's been a bit crazy. Um, Thank you all for watching, and all of your great suggestions and stuff. I think we are pretty solid on TAM marking, except for just like making sure that I have these particles done. Um, I will I will go ahead and I think watch on Blue Sky, um, possibly also on Discord. But watch Blue Sky for polls for forms for these. Watch on and then watch on your on Patreon if you're a patron for a poll that will determine about like the order of the agreement marking um, and the TAM marking. Not my thinking is I'm going to work up proposal for like these third person markers will always be before, but always come after. But I will give the choice of whether the first and second markers come before or after TAM marking, and then we can decide together what happens there. But anyway, thank you all for watching, and happy conlaying.